Most people believe that the most important number in retirement is the final balance on their 401k statement. After 25 years of sitting across the desk from real families, I can tell you that while that number matters, it is almost never the part that determines if you actually sleep through the night. The thing that actually dictates your quality of life isn't just how much you saved, but which of the five distinct financial realities you land in the day you stop receiving a paycheck. Two neighbors can retire with the exact same amount in the bank, yet one feels a constant, quiet weight in their chest every time they go to the grocery store, while the other feels a sense of total permission to finally enjoy the life they spent 40 years building. Today, we are going to look at the 5 levels of retirement in America for 2026, not with hype or vague promises, but with the real numbers and the specific strategies that move the needle from one level to the next. By the end of this deep dive, you won't just know where you are, you'll have the roadmap for exactly how to step up to the next level while you still have the time to do it. Level 1, survival retirement. Savings under $50,000, monthly income $1,400 to $2,100. Level 1 isn't just a number on a screen. It is a daily exercise in trade-offs. We're looking at households where the primary and often the only source of life is Social Security. In 2026, the average monthly benefit for a retired worker has risen to approximately $2,071, following the 2.8% COLA increase. But that is an average. If you spent years in lower-paying roles or felt the pressure to claim your benefits early at age 62, you might be looking at a check closer to $1,400. The reality on the ground. Think about your current monthly expenses. The light bill, car insurance, the cost of groceries. Now picture trying to fit all of that into a $2,000 window. For many in 2026, the single biggest silent tax at this level is healthcare. The standard Medicare Part B premium has climbed to $202.90 a month. For a level 1 retiree, that isn't just a bill, it's 10 to 15% of their entire monthly income gone before they even buy a gallon of milk. I remember a client named Dorothy. She arrived at 67 with $18,000 in a savings account. She was a hard worker, but life happened. Divorce, a medical issue in her 50s, and a job loss. Her biggest fear wasn't about travel. It was the quiet, gnawing dread that a single car repair meant she couldn't afford her blood pressure medication. That not knowing is the hallmark of level 1. It's a world where emergency isn't a figure of speech, it's a constant threat. The psychological burden. When you're in level 1, your brain is in a state of high alert. This is what economists call scarcity mindset. You spend so much mental energy worrying about how to pay the electric bill that you don't have the mental bandwidth left to think about long-term tax planning or estate legacies. If you're here, the stress is physical. You feel it in your shoulders every time the mail arrives. How to move up. If you find yourself in level 1, your greatest asset is your housing. The goal is simple: protect the roof. If the mortgage is gone, level 1 becomes survivable. If you're still renting, look into local property tax freezes or senior housing subsidies immediately. The second lever is Social Security timing. Every year you wait past 62 increases your check by 8%. At this level, that 8% isn't just math, it's the difference between heat in the winter and a cold house. You must also become an expert in the hidden benefits, programs like SNAP or the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. There's no shame in using the tools designed to keep you on your feet. Level 2, Subsistence Retirement. Savings, $50,000 to $350,000. Monthly income, $2,500 to $3,500. We call this subsistence retirement because the bills generally get paid, but the cushion is thinner than most realize. Typically, this involves combining Social Security with a modest draw from a 401k or IRA. You have more than Dorothy, but you still feel like you're walking on thin ice. The reality on the ground. At this stage, you aren't choosing between food and medicine, but you are likely checking the balance on your phone before you agree to a dinner out with the grandkids. The risk here is fragility. A $250,000 portfolio can be heavily impacted by a sequence of returns risk, meaning if the market drops in your first 2 years of retirement, your math could break permanently. In 2026, we see many Level 2 retirees struggling with lifestyle creep from their working years. They have the savings, but they haven't adjusted their spending to match a fixed income. I worked with a couple, Mike and Linda. They had $310,000 and felt rich because they'd never seen that much money in one place. But they still had a $450 car payment and $8,000 in credit card debt. They were level 2 in assets, but level 1 in stress because their outgo exceeded their income. The danger of the lump sum trap. One of the biggest mistakes level 2 retirees make is treating their $200,000 or $300,000 like a bank account instead of an income stream. They take out $40,000 to renovate a kitchen or buy a new camper, not realizing they just hacked off a massive chunk of their future income. At this level, every dollar must be guarded. The 2026 strategy. The single most powerful thing you can do at level 2 is enter retirement with zero consumer debt. In 2026, with interest rates still being a factor, debt is an anchor. If you can eliminate that car payment, you've effectively given yourself a 25% raise in your standard of living. For a level 2 retiree, debt isn't just a bill, it's the thing that turns a manageable life into a crisis. Also, for 2026, pay attention to the IRA contribution limits, which have increased to $7,500. Even small catch-up contributions in your final working years can solidify this level. Your goal is to move from fragile to stable. Level 3, comfortable retirement. Savings, $700,000 to $1.5 million. Monthly income, $5,000 to $8,500. This is the sweet spot. This is the baseline goal for every working American who still has a few years left on their runway. While the old $1 million rule used to be the gold standard, 2026 inflation and the rising cost of services have pushed the boundaries. The reality on the ground. At this stage, if you have $800,000 and follow a conservative 4% withdrawal rate, or the updated 4.7% rate some researchers like Bill Benjen are now suggesting for 2026 to account for current market conditions, you're looking at roughly $2,600 to $3,100 a month from savings. Add in a healthy Social Security check, and your household is bringing in roughly $5,000 to $6,000 a month. This is the level where the white knuckle feeling finally starts to dissipate. This is where you can replace the dishwasher without a panic attack. I remember Jim and Martha. They reached retirement with $720,000. Martha's big question was, Clara, can we actually afford to say yes when the kids ask us to go to Disney? For them, level 3 wasn't about luxury, it was about permission. It was the ability to stop viewing every purchase through the lens of, can we survive this? And start viewing it through, is this worth the memory? The mid-level paradox. Surprisingly, many people at level 3 are more anxious than those at level 1. Why? Because they have enough to lose. They spend their time watching CNBC worrying about a 10% market correction. At this level, your job is to shift from accumulation, growing the money, to preservation and distribution, keeping the money. The 2026 opportunity. If you're aiming for level 3, use the 2026 401k limit of $24,500. If you're over 50, you have an $8,000 catch-up. But here is the new secret level for 2026, the Secure 2.0 Super Catch-up. If you're aged 60, 61, 62, or 63 in 2026, your catch-up limit is actually $11,250. This is the government giving you a turbo boost to move from level 2 to level 3 in the final minutes of the game. If you're in that bracket, you need to be maxing this out. It's the most efficient way to buy yourself peace of mind. Level 4, Prosperous Retirement. Savings, $1.5 million to $5 million. Monthly income, $10,000 to $20,000 plus. At level 4, the conversation changes entirely. We move from the conversation of, do I have enough, to how do I manage what I have? We are talking about portfolios where a 4% withdrawal on $3 million generates $120,000 a year, and that's before Social Security even hits the bank account. The reality on the ground. At this stage, you often find your portfolio is actually growing faster than you are spending it. This leads to a startling realization. You might actually be getting wealthier while you are retired. This is where the bucket strategy becomes your best friend, keeping 2 years of cash in a safe bucket so that even if the market crashes, your lifestyle doesn't change for a second. You aren't just flying to see the kids, you're flying business class because you value the comfort. You're helping with a grandchild's college tuition, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to see that legacy take root. Level 4 is about freedom. It's the freedom to buy time, hiring a gardener, a house cleaner, or a driver so you can spend your remaining healthy years doing exactly what you love. The 2026 Tax Trap. If you are at level 4, your biggest bill in retirement won't be your mortgage, it will be the IRS. In 2026, we're seeing the Roth mandate for catch-up contributions finally take full effect for high earners. If you made more than $145,000 last year, your catch-up contributions must be Roth after tax. The strategy here is the Roth conversion ladder. Since you have the assets, you should be moving money from your traditional IRAs to Roth IRAs during your gap years, those years between when you retire and when Social Security or MRDs, required minimum distributions, kick in. Why? Because when you hit age 73 or 75, the government is going to force you to take money out of your traditional IRA, and if that bucket is $4 million, your tax bill will be astronomical. By paying the tax now at today's rates, you protect that portfolio from potentially higher tax rates in the future. Level 4 is where you stop playing defense and start playing offensive tax strategy. Level 5, Legacy Retirement. Savings, $5 million plus. Monthly income, $25,000 plus. And then we reach the top floor, Legacy Retirement. This is the level where the word budget no longer applies in the traditional sense. For the person at level 5, the primary challenge isn't about financial survival, it's the weight of responsibility. The reality on the ground. For most people, spending $30,000 every single month is actually quite difficult without being deliberately wasteful. Because of that, level 5 retirees are almost always focused on generational thinking. They're looking 50 years into the future. They're working with estate attorneys to set up trusts and maximize the step-up and basis for their heirs. At this level, you're often the chief financial officer of your extended family. You might be funding a family cabin, a series of 529 plans for grandchildren, or a charitable foundation. The money has become a tool for impact. 2026 estate rules. For 2026, the annual gift exclusion has held steady at $19,000 per person per year. If you're a married couple, you can give $38,000 to each child or grandchild every year without even touching your lifetime exemption. This is how the wealthy drain the bucket of their estate to avoid the 40% estate tax that looms over very large portfolios. If you have $10 million and the current estate sunset occurs in 2026, as scheduled, you could be looking at a massive tax hit if you haven't moved money out of your name. The spiritual challenge. But here's the real Clara advice for level 5, and this is the part people don't talk about. The fear at this level isn't about running out of money, it's about whether that money will take away your children's drive or purpose. I've seen $10 million inheritances ruin families, causing siblings to stop speaking and children to lose their ambition. And I've seen them build hospitals and change lives. The difference is the values you pass down with the money. Level 5 is about mentoring the next generation to handle the blessing you're leaving behind. Conclusion. Your next move. The difference between these levels isn't just about the luck of the market or the size of your salary. It is about the consistency of your habits and the clarity of your vision. If you are in level 1, your mission is to secure your housing and wait on Social Security. You are a protector of the foundation. If you are in level 2, your mission is to kill your debt. You are an architect of stability. If you are in level 3, your mission is to maximize that 2026 super catch-up and build your permission to spend. You are a seeker of comfort. If you are in level 4, your mission is tax efficiency and Roth conversions. You are a strategist of wealth. If you are in level 5, your mission is legacy and stewardship. You are a builder of futures. No matter where you fall on this list today, remember that these levels are not permanent. I have seen people move from level 2 to level 4 through 10 years of disciplined catch-up work. I have seen level 1 retirees find peace and joy through community and simplicity. Before you turn off this video, I want you to do one thing. Don't just guess which level you're in. Log into your primary retirement account today. Look at that number, factor in your Social Security estimate for 2026, and see which door you are standing in front of. The numbers are just a tool. They are the fuel for the life you've worked 40 years to build. Use them wisely, plan with intention, and I'll see you in the next